Hey, what's up, everybody? Happy Tuesday to you. I do hope everybody out there is doing well. It is time for the very first community live mock draft here at Lombardi Time Brews, something we've never tried before now in our second season of covering the draft. Just thought it'd be fun. I don't know how many people are going to be here. I don't know how it's going to go, but I thought it would be fun to try. I've seen some other channels do it. I know a lot of people here are quite active, so it'd be a good time for all of us to join in here together. As you can see in the layout today, I'm going to be using PFF's mock draft simulator. Overall, I got to say, I probably like PFN's a little bit better. Just because, then teams can approach you with trades. And plus, I think some of their, especially their day 3 rankings, make a lot more sense. But theirs is so littered with ads that I just could not get this right in a format that actually was going to look decent at all. So here we are on PFF. So hello, Chris. Hello to you. Steven Smith, time to rock. Yes, it is. And we are so close to the actual draft itself. Oh my goodness, we're almost there. And Peter, hello to you. Peter, bonjour. I'm doing quite well. Hope you're doing well as well. So the way that this is going to work is I kind of decided, since we have to use PFF, other teams aren't going to come at us with trades. Ultimately, we can look at doing trades maybe in round 1. I'm going to set the speed overall to slow. I'm going to go through and do that kind of now. I'm going to put it down there. Should give us plenty of time to talk as well. And then also, I'm going to keep the board on public because, like I said, PFF's board is it's rough at times in this simulator. Care for positional value, I'm going to crank up just a wee bit because PFF doesn't seem to always like quarterbacks. And then from there, we will just go. So all 7 rounds. And let's just see how this goes. Commander G-Man, nice to see you. Thanks for stopping in. And I am too. I'm so glad it's draft week. One, because this is a really exciting time. This is fun. Draft is fun. It's just so long this year. It felt like a way longer season than normal. And I think it's because we didn't have any Aaron Rodgers chat to deal with. So, and hello to you as well, Dan. So let's get this going. Starting off with round 1. You can see how this is going to work here. Over on the one side of the screen is going to be all of the other team selections. Then, of course, different picks, all that kind of stuff. Over here, if you've never used PFF Mock Draft Simulator, that's what you're looking at a little bit on the screen. Joseph S., hello. Greetings from northeastern Illinois, stuck south of the Cheddar Curtain. Ouch. Ouch. I mean, is that better than being beyond the purple wall of Minnesota? I don't know. Either way, probably not great, but welcome. So let's get this rolling now. Time to start the draft. I'm not going to go through it this extensively for all of the rounds. We'll probably turn up the speed a little bit as we get going here. But round 1, I at least wanted to have a little bit of flexibility in case we want to do some trades. So first 3 teams all wind up doing quarterbacks there. Marvin Harrison Jr. goes 4th to the Cardinals. Rome going 5th to the Chargers. I think all pretty much as expected to this point. Joe Alt, yeah. Though I wish he'd fall 25. Maybe he could pull a Laramie Tunsil. That would really kind of help us out a little bit. There goes Arnold, what a lot of people consider to be the top corner on the board. Fuaga. McCarthy drops to 11 for the Vikings. So Vikings going to get their quarterback now. Yeah, and like I said, it's not going to go this slow the whole time. I just wanted to do it in round 1. Brock Bowers goes 14 to the Saints. Interesting that I've seen him start dropping on a lot of different simulators as of late. I got to believe it's maybe because of those medical red flags that some teams are talking about. And there he goes. Cooper DeJean is gone. He goes to 18 to the Cincinnati Bengals. Marius Mims now gone. Byron Murphy gone. Roll Raggy. Brian Thomas Jr., Fashanu gone. Graham Barton goes 23 to the Vikings. And Kool-Aid goes 24. So now that we are at a picking spot, I would like all of you to chime in. I'm going to go over who's here, but let me know who you want to pick because this is y'all guided. So I will say this is not great from the Packers' perspective, right? You got Jared Verse, one of the top edge rushers. Packers might have some interest there. Gone. Arnold Mitchell, neither one fell. DeJean, gone. Byron Murphy, top D lineman, gone. Most of the tackles gone. I mean, it's actually probably good that we got this because now we're looking at some somewhat interesting options here. So we got Johnny Newton from Illinois if we're looking defensive lineman. There's a player would be A.D. Mitchell from Texas, Nate Wiggins, the corner from Clemson, JPJ, center from Oregon, Peyton Wilson, who's high up in this simulator. Jordan Morgan's there. He's been mentioned. Tyler Guyton, he is at least still there if tackle is your flavor. But that's about what we're looking at for first round names attached with the Packers. So let me know what you're thinking here. Looks like the Saints are interested in trading. If we wanted to trade back, it would be going all the way to their next pick at 45. Or, of course, I can find somebody else to try to trade with as well. So we got 2 votes right now. Peter saying no Cooper, no Kool-Aid, trade down. Dan Lemon saying I'd like to trade back. Joseph saying Newton or trade with Washington for their 36 and 78. All right, I'll give that a go. We got 3 people saying let's trade back. I'm totally good with that given the board. Peter saying JPJ is the only interesting option round 1. Yeah, and even then I gotta say, like we've talked about, right? For one, I don't know as if the Packers are going to have a round 1 grade on him because he's an interior offensive lineman. But then for 2, there's been a bunch of reports as of late that draft nicks are higher on him than actual NFL teams are. And it wouldn't be shocking at all to go into round 2 for him. So Commando G-Man also saying trade back. All right, so I'm going to try Joseph's suggestions first. Let me see here if I can trade with Washington. They're not interested per the simulator here. Where am I missing? Washington. Where you at? Washington. There they are. So you said 36 and 78 for our 25, right, Joseph? Yep. 36-78 for our 25. Says that they are not interested in trading for this pick, but they can screw up. We'll see what we get. Hey, trade accepted. Joseph, you magic man, working out the trade. So we are now going to be picking next at pick 36. 36-78 for 25. We can resume the draft now. So in our spot, Washington winds up taking Nate Wiggins. Yeah, kind of makes sense for Washington at least. A.D. Mitchell going to Tampa, Chop to Arizona there. So we do have a little bit of weight now to 36 as it's continuing to progress back. Johnny Newton, there he goes. And hey, Peter, there you go. JPJ going 30 to the Ravens, just underneath my chin on the other team ticker there. Oh, Mikey Sane getting into the first round, 32 with the Chiefs. They going with another slot corner in round 1. So here we are at 36. Okay, just to recap our options now, because Guyton just went at 35 right in front of us. So what are we thinking now, folks? Tyler Nubin there at safety. Of course, he of the very, very low RAS. Lad McConkey, if wide receivers your flavor. A couple quarterbacks still hanging around. Keon Coleman, the wide receiver from Florida State. Some people have alleged some Packer interest there. If we're looking secondary, Javon Bullard, the safety / nickel from Georgia. Ennis Rakestraw, who didn't have a very high RAS, but is the Packers' kind of corner. And then you're getting to some others. Jonathan Brooks, Chris Jenkins, TJ Tampa, Xavier Legette, who came in for a top 30 visit with the Packers. That one was just reported this morning. Another wide receiver joining Burton there. Jaden Hicks, the safety from Washington State, the box safety. Jonah Ellis, Kamari Lassiter, Amagaji, the massive tackle from Yale. Braswell, Edgerrin Cooper, still there on the board. Peter says Jaden Hicks over Tyler Nubin at safety. And I think the Packers are going to be very much agree with you there. But Edgerrin Cooper is on the board. Or if you wanted to go interior line, Christian Haynes, Marshawn Nealand. I mean, we are in round 2 now. Kingsley Suamataia. A lot of people believe that the Packers may be high on him. He's got left-right versatility. He's very, very athletic. He's very young. I like Suamataia a lot. I think he was in my very first mock weeks ago. Feels like eons ago at this point. All right, so we got Peter saying Jaden Hicks. Steven Smith saying still the best safety, Tyler Nubin. All right, peeps, let me know what you're thinking. Nubin is an option. Even Zach Frazier, maybe. if you want me to look up any details, Joseph S. saying Kieran Amagaji, the tackle out of Yale, he of the very, very long arms. And then Dan saying, still not liking this spot. Too many offensive skill players. Yeah, there are a few. I'll give you that. A couple wide receivers there for sure. Peter saying another trade back. Oh, man. Oh, man, y'all. There is one team interested in pick 36 if that's what we wanted to do. So let me get a couple more votes in. Peeps, tell me what you're looking for. And let's see. So far, we got 2 talking trade back. We got 1 saying Amagaji. We got 1 saying Tyler Newman. Steve, pop it into the chat with authority saying Edgerrin Cooper. Give him Edgerrin Cooper. So that's what we got there. Any other opinions? Because right now, trade back is winning. It's Dan, I'm assuming that's where you're at voting wise. Let me see a couple more votes from the people that are out there. If not, then I'll be a tiebreaker. Trade back to go again, or trade back again to get Chris Jenkins, says Peter. I mean, that's a worthwhile thought. Chris Jenkins very well might be the Packers type. You can see there a few of his PFF grades, things of that nature. Also his size, 6'3", 305. He did have an off-the-charts Raz. Dan saying Edgerrin Cooper if making the pick. Yeah. Okay. Well, let's see. Let's see what team is interested in trading with us. And, oh, my goodness gracious, it's Denver. All the way back at 76. I have a feeling that we're not going to want to lop ourselves all the way back to 76 with this pick. So let's see if we can find somebody else here. Trade back, Edgerrin Cooper. Let me just search one trade back here. Let's not go too far back. Let's see if Houston is interested in wheeling and dealing. So I got Houston up now. And I'm clicking on 42 and 59. We'll see if they do that, right? For 36, highly doubt it. It would be a massive win for us. But hey, we can ask. Dan saying Denver wants one of the quarterbacks. All right, so now 42 and 86, maybe. I could see that working a little bit better on some trade charts. Let's see if they go with that. And they did indeed. So now we're dropping back to 42 now as Houston moves up to 36, picking up another third-round pick. They choose Ennis Rakestraw. We're still waiting on our first pick, folks. 2 trade backs. So Keon Coleman, Roman Wilson, they both go. Zach Frazier. All right, now Washington goes. They take Tyler Nubin. So that eliminates him off of the safety board if that was still your flavor. But we're looking 41 and 42 now. Back-to-back picks for the Packers and available here. I think we got to pick a pick now, folks. So we're looking at Jatavian Sanders, Brandon Frisk, Javon Bullard still there. I have a feeling I know which way this is going to go. But Chris Jenkins still there, like someone recommended earlier. TJ Tampa, some people really like him, the corner out of Iowa State. Jaden Hicks still present as well. And keep in mind, we got 2 picks in a row. Peter saying Chris Jenkins and Edgerrin Cooper. Yep, I have a feeling Edgerrin Cooper is going to be a popular selection here. And we do still have our other second rounder as well. So we're just acquiring assets left and right. But we got Amagaji. Someone mentioned him earlier. Dan, again, saying Cooper and Jenkins. Let me know. Anybody else? Anything else you want to see? We got Cooper there, certainly would be an option. Marshawn Neeland brought in for a top 30 visit. One of the top edge rushers. Packers supposedly have a lot of interest there. Kingsley Suamataia still on the board. Ranked much higher in PFN simulators. Ruke Horohoro, who I talked about in our last mock draft yesterday. And then Brandon Coleman, a very Packers-y offensive lineman. So with no other votes coming in, I'll give it just a couple more seconds. But for sure, I think we can say Edgerrin Cooper is going to be that first selection. So let's go with Edgerrin Cooper, Chris Jenkins, and Kieran Amagaji. Michael. Welcome, Michael, saying Peyton Wilson. He wants to bring in Peyton Wilson. That's the first mention of Wilson that we've seen. We've got a couple for Edgerrin Cooper. Peter saying love Jalen Wright, Aaron Jones 2.0. My favorite running back in this draft. Let's go with, I've seen this name the most, so let's just go with it. We're going to go with Edgerrin Cooper now, pick 41. Let me just write that down. 41, Edgerrin Cooper. That gives us our first pick. So now, pick 42. Steve Buddy should be the Packers. Man, talk about a dream come true, right? I'd love everything about that. I can be the little angel on Goot's ear. And I've seen a few mentions for Chris Jenkins. Joseph still wants Kieran Amagaji, which frankly, either one makes sense. Joseph saying, think we can get Jalen Wright in round 3. And we do still have one more round 2 pick as well coming. So I'm going to go with the name that I've seen the most from you guys. And we're going to go at pick 42 with Chris Jenkins. So Chris Jenkins now is ours. We're beefing up the defense early, especially that front 7. All right, there goes Michael Penix to the Raiders. Darius Robinson off the board now to the Saints. We are going to be coming up here again in just a moment now at 58, and then I'll crank up the speed a little bit as we've got a 20-pick layoff. But pick 58, there goes Xavier Worthy, Bo Nix. I don't think there's any way Bo Nix is going as late as 52. And that's one of the things with PFF too. Like, they seem a lot more willing to drop quarterbacks than PFN ever is. So, and there goes Max Melton and Kieran Amagaji. So a dose of heartbreak there for us as a couple teams jump right in front of us. Kieran Amagaji going 56 to the Cowboys, and then Max Melton 57 to the Bucks. I know a lot of Packer fans really, really high on Max Melton, as I am as well. Steven asking what's available at tackle. Well, let's go take a look. So you're still, Kingsley Suamataia is still there. Still hanging out at pick 58. And then realistically, you're looking at Brandon Coleman. Coleman projects more so to be an interior offensive lineman in Green Bay. But then you got Blake Fisher, Roger Rosengarten, Patrick Paul, Dominic Pooney, probably another interior offensive lineman. So really, if we want to nab a tackle, you're looking Patrick Paul, Roger Rosengarten, Blake Fisher, or Kingsley Suamataia. Let's see, Dan. Yep, I'll go to safety next. So that's the offensive lineman. We got Kingsley, Blake, Rosengarten, Paul. Those are your tackles that make sense right now. If you're looking interior lineman, you do have Brandon Coleman, Dominic Pooney as well. And then to kick it over to the interior, I'll take a look at that as well. Christian Haynes is still there. Cooper Beebe, as well as Mason McCormick, really certainly the top 3 there. Now, just to give you a realistic gauge as to what's available at safety, we are looking at Jaden Hicks, Kalen Bullock. Maybe the Packers have some interest there, but I know a lot of Packer fans are terrified of him because he can't tackle. And then you've got DTD out of Texas Tech, Cameron Kitchens of the Low Raz. Peter chiming in and saying Jordan Hicks at 58. Chris saying, I'm a Bo Nix fan myself. Where do you think he goes again? I really could see late 1. There's been a lot of talk. Tom Pelissario's mentioned it. I think even Ian Rappaport has as well. Like, we could be looking at a realistic 5-6 quarterbacks in round 1. And Bo Nix could very well be one of them. All right. So we've got Peter saying Hicks at 58. Dan Lemon saying Hicks 58. All right. Keep in mind, our next pick is not until 78. We got a 20-pick layoff now. Joseph saying Kingsley at 58. So we got 2 votes for Hicks right now, 1 for Kingsley Suamataia. Peter saying Jaden Hicks and Xavier McKinney, the perfect combo. Yeah, I mean, it would be fun, right? My only concern with Hicks on a personal note is like, is that athleticism really going to translate to the NFL? I'm always a little concerned about that with box safeties, even though he had to have a really high RAS, even though he's got the traits, it's always still a little concerning. Can you be that aggressive in the NFL like he was in college? But thus far, we got two votes for Hicks, 1 for Kingsley. Let me know if you've got any other thoughts out there. Just to recap, realistically, Hicks, the top safety left on the board. But if you're looking offensive line, Kingsley Suamataia makes sense. Blake Fisher, Roger Rosengarten, Patrick Paul is even probably in range here. Interior offensive lineman, Christian Haynes, Cooper Beebe. All right. So Dan Lemon saying trade up for OL next. Okay, that's a thought. Joseph F saying, think we can get Cole Bishop safety in round 3. Totally possible in PFF's board. Yeah, I will acknowledge that, Joseph, for sure. But then Dan saying trade up for OL next. I think that's an interesting idea that you could make a selection here and then still trade up. Whether you choose tackle or safety here, we certainly have the assets from our other trades to hop up into round 2 again. Steve saying, is Mahogany available? That's one player I didn't look for specifically. Yes, he is. And we're well ahead of his ADP in PFF right now. But yeah, he's still hanging out there as well for the interior offensive lineman. So as of right now, still got 2 votes for Hicks, 1 vote. Okay, way too early from Steve. Yep. 1 vote for Kingsley yet. So as of right now, we're going Hicks. I'll give it just a couple more seconds for Hicks. Yeah. And I would certainly be down to try working out a trade up too as well. Keep in mind right now at 41. Yep, Steve, I'll recap that for you right now. Who do we draft so far? At 41, we got Edrin Cooper, the linebacker. And then at 42, we got Chris Jenkins. So defensive line and linebacker have been well taken care of. I do realistically think we're looking safety, offensive line, perhaps a running back sneaks in here like that. We're looking in that kind of range now. Stephen Smith saying tackle. Pick a tackle. In which case, then I would say for you, Stephen, Kingsley Suamataia. That would be my choice as well. So we got 2 votes for each. Again, if we wind up at a total tie, then I will serve as the tiebreaker, as the host. So just to check some ADPs here, just to give you a little bit more point of reference, Kingsley generally has an ADP of 50. He's ranked at 66 since he's the tackle we're talking about. And Jaden Hicks, just to check on that one, ADP 61, rank of 54, according to PFF's mock draft simulator. So both easily well within a very logical range at this point. So all right. So what I'm going to decide here is, because we got no other votes coming in, I'm going to go, let's see, I will go with Jaden Hicks at 58. And then because I think there's more right now playing where there more left of, right? At tackle right now, there still is Fisher, who's very much a Packer type. Rosengartner's a Packer type. There's multiple tackles available. However, if you're looking for a box safety to pair with Xavier McKinney, even though I will remind you, Goot said that he still wants his safeties to be interchangeable. Talked about that a bit yesterday. But if you're looking safety, then realistically, Jaden Hicks. Joseph, to answer your question real quick, which picks do we have in round 3? We have 78, 86, 88, and 91. Like we wound up with 4 third rounders because teams were friendly in trading back from 25. So we do have 4 third round selections. So let's go with, I know there's a couple other safeties there like Cole Bishop, etc. But for 58, let's go with Jaden Hicks. So Hicks goes at 58. And then maybe in the mid 60s, if Kingsley Suamataia is still there in the mid 60s, then I could make a lot of sense to, oh, there he goes. 62. Kingsley goes to Baltimore at pick 62. Blake Corum goes 63 to the Niners. But I think even now with Kingsley off the board and the other tackles still hanging out, there goes Patrick Paul, Blake Fisher. Yeah, okay. Now, and there goes Brandon Dorless. So if we're thinking tackle now, it might be time because Blake Fisher just went, Patrick Paul just went, so it might be time. And the team on the clock right now is the New York Giants. So we'll have to see what we can get out of them. Just catching up on a couple comments here. Brandy saying linebacker here. We did take Edrin Cooper with 41. Actually, what wound up being our first selection of the day because we did a trade back. And then Joseph saying, cool, now trade up for our offensive tackle. Yeah, let's work that out right now. Dan saying he'd like to see Cooper Beebe. Could make some sense there. I think Cooper Beebe is, the difference is, right, like you're going to put in a tackle and maybe they'll be good enough as a rookie, although I'm very hard-pressed to believe it, to kick Zach Tom inside. Otherwise, you're looking at like a Cooper Beebe. You're drafting him to start at right guard right now. So let's see. Kept up a couple comments. Steve saying Elijah Jones. Brandy, I missed that. Sorry. No problem at all, Brandy. Thank you for joining us. So let's try to work out a trade here with the Giants. They've got 70. Certainly give them, we'll try for 78. And then we'll see. Let's start off slow. We're going to go with 78. And then let's offer up our fifth at 169. So we're going to give them our earlier of the threes and then our fifth in 169 to see if we can move up 8 spots in round 3 to come up and grab our tackle. Wait, oh, did I do it wrong? Yep, I did it wrong. Okay, well, they didn't take it and they didn't take Rosengarten, so we're just fine. All right, now let's see if they'll take it for the Cardinals. 78 and 169 going to the Cardinals. Yep, I did hit the wrong button before. No, they are not taking it. They want to stay put at 71. I don't think in this range you want to give up much more than your fifth to kick it up just a few spots in round 3. So let's turn the tide here. Let's see if Joe Douglas can work out another masterclass. And we're going to offer 78 and 169 to Joe Douglas and the Jets for 72. Let's see if they take that. And indeed they have. So at 71, let's see, did the Cardinals screw us? They did not. They choose Devontae Walker, the wide receiver out of North Carolina at 71. So now what we're looking at, we did trade up for a tackle, right? That was our intent in doing so. That is what the people said just a few minutes ago, in which case, if tackle is the guy, then I would have to go with Roger Rosengarten. I'll give you guys just a few seconds here to chime in about if we actually should go with the tackle or not. Looking over the rest of the board, if interior offensive line is more your flavor, Cooper Beebe is still hanging out. But then otherwise, because we've covered thus far, we've covered linebacker and Edgerrin Cooper, defensive line and Chris Jenkins, and we've covered Jaden Hicks at safety position. So Marshawn Nealand, he's still there. Just saying, Marshawn Nealand's still there. Brandy asking, I'm not sure if value is there at OT. Well, let's take a look at the other OTs just to say that. So, Brandy, if you're looking for my personal opinion, I would say it is, because Brandon Coleman, who you see is the top name there, he realistically projects inside for Green Bay. Dominic Pooney, same thing, realistically projects inside for Green Bay. Matt Gonplaves, kind of the same thing. So what you're really looking at is if you're not going to grab Rosengarten in this spot, then there is a fall to the next level of tackles. You might be looking at Javon Foster, et cetera, as kind of that next tier of tackle a little bit later on. So my personal opinion, not to like necessarily sway anybody, this is your all's mock, but I personally would say that it is there for sure. Dan, let's see. Peter's saying Marshawn Nealand has all the traits of a Packer. Yeah, he does in every single way. And I really like him as a down the line Preston Smith replacement. Dan saying change of course for me. And he wants to go with Nealand. Joseph S. hanging true at Rosengarten. And then just to catch up on a couple of comments here, Steve saying, I think we could get Elijah Jones in the 5th. Oh, it's directed to Steve, who wants Elijah Jones. Yeah, I certainly don't think you got to grab Elijah Jones this early, at least in the simulator for sure. Steven saying he does like Pooney, though, perhaps a bit later. Potentially. I think we're getting very much into Pooney range. Joseph saying we have not yet taken an offensive tackle yet in this mock. And then Peter saying Dominic Pooney would be a fine pick at OL. Yeah. Again, the only concern here, and he is kind of Zach Tom-esque, like he's projected inside, but he's played tackle collegiately. He does have some of the traits to be a successful tackle. It's just with the way that the Packers operate, they're probably going to try him inside first, and then he can kind of kick out to tackle if need be, just like they did with Zach Tom. Maybe they can find a diamond in the rough there. And then Brandy saying, I watched a 4th and a 7th round pick at OT do a great job working versus Hutchinson and the like. That skewed my draft value. I mean, I get it though, right? Because anyone who's watched anything as of late, which I'm sure all of you have as some of our biggest regulars, like I'm anti-tackle round one. Like, there's no doubt about it. Once you start getting these mid rounds, yeah, they need a swing tackle for sure. And I don't mind getting someone who can learn more tackle and then kick Zach Tom in eventually, perhaps to replace Josh Myers next year. Peter saying Pooney can play tackle and center. Dan saying the next three picks are in the ADP ranges of the OL. Yeah, because we do still have 86, 88, and 91. So, all right, let's open up voting. I know a couple of you have voted for Neeland already. I know we have one vote in for Rosengarten. Let me know more people commit. Get a couple more people. Tell me what you want to do. Keep in mind, we do already have Edgerrin Cooper, Chris Jenkins, and Jaden Hicks. Those would be our three selections already. Brandy saying we need tons of run block needs tons of help. In which case, maybe then you're thinking IOL in the form of Cooper Beebe, someone who would, I believe, would walk right in on day one and start at right guard. Joseph saying I had seen some chatter that Rosengarten has been projected in round 2, so good value here. Yeah, even Chad Reuter at NFL.com put him in round 1 for the Packers, which seemingly came out of nowhere. But yeah, Joseph, I would agree. I do think he's one guy PFF is a little low on. Steve saying a horo. Peter saying 72 Neeland, 88 Wright. Steven saying Rosie now and Pooney soon. Okay. Rosie, I'm assuming is Rosengarten. The BB. Okay. Brandy saying BB. And then Miserable Go. What's up, man? Just make sure the defense is successful for Love to win the MVP this season. I have not checked as of recent. I think he's still 7th in MVP odds this year, which might not be a bad bet. So, all right, we got 1 vote for BB. We got 2 for Neeland, and we've got 2 for Rosengarten at this point. If I need to serve as the tiebreaker, I know Marshawn Neeland is everything that they look for, but I gotta say this feels awfully offensive line, and then see what you can get a little bit later on. Keep in mind, we do still have picks coming up of 86, 88, and 91 due to our trade backs earlier. So give it just a few more seconds. Peter's saying Neeland Jenkins Cooper. So scary. I mean, it would be a lot of rookie infusion on the defensive side of the ball, kind of like offense last year. Brandy saying whatever Joseph thinks. Well, then you're in the camp of Rosengarten, Brandy, and you do serve as our tiebreaker with you flipping the vote. So that gives us Roger Rosengarten is going to be the pick here at 72. Now we got a 14 pick layoff until 86. So Rosengarten is our pick at 72. That does indeed flip it. Made it a 3-2 vote for Roger Rosengarten. All right, now let's see what we get here. Waiting on pick 86. There goes Jalen Wright to the Denver Broncos. There goes a Horo. Jermaine Burton now off the board. Brandon Coleman goes. Johnny Wilson, who frankly is one of my favorite receivers in this draft. I like Johnny Wilson a lot. I just don't know if the Packers are going to look at one that early. To catch it up on a couple comments here while it's simming up a storm. Oh yeah, and then the poor Miami Dolphins who do not have a pick there. And now we are at 86. So Neeland has gone. Neeland is off the board. Neeland went right after Rosengarten. He went to the Detroit Lions. Horo went to the Falcons. So just a second after I catch up with some comments, we are going to take a tour around and see what we can get. Keep in mind, thus far, we have Edgerrin Cooper, Chris Jenkins, Jaden Hicks, and Roger Rosengarten. Let's see. Joseph saying it may have been that Nagler was trashing for a random Packer free chat. Wow, thanks for the kudos here. I used to watch Nagler every day. Now that I do my own thing, though, it's hard to tune in everywhere else. But let's see. Peter saying no Neeland, Brandy, Ray Davis here. Yes, Ray Davis is available. In fact, one of the top players available. Packers did bring him in for a top 30 visit. So let's take a tour and let's see who is around at these different spots. So if you're looking at wide receiver, you got Malik Washington, Damari Thrash, Jacob Cowing, Anais Smith, Brendan Rice, Taj Washington, Isaiah Williams, Luke McCaffrey, the first name that's standing out there is Packers-ish, as well as Cornelius Johnson, and we're well ahead of where they may go. Taking a look at tight end, just to give an idea of where we are for every position. Eric All, Ben Sinnott, Jared Wiley, Theo Johnson, kind of the top names there that could make some sense for Packers. Tackle, we've already picked one tackle, and Pooney is still there if you're looking interior line. Otherwise, because he would go to interior line. Otherwise, Cooper Beebe is still available on the interior. Keep in mind, we also have picks 88 and 91. So Cooper Beebe hanging out there yet at pick 86, which does feel late for him for sure. Then looking at the defensive side of the ball, in terms of corners, Kyrie Jackson, Kalen Carson, Jerrion Jones, Cam Hart is still there, DJ James. That's kind of names we're looking at corner. And then looking at safety, DTD is still there. We did already pick Hicks, but just giving you an idea, Cole Bishop is still there. I know which way I personally would be leaning here for sure. Edge, we got Jalix Hunt, Austin Booker, who came into the Packers on a top 30 visit. He's there as well. Those are certainly the top ones. Braylon Trice, who used to get some late round one buzz and then did not work out well, and he's really fallen as of late. So that's kind of what we're looking at. But Ray Davis is one of the top players there, as well as both of the edges. Cooper Beebe, Mason McCormick, although that's a little unpackersy for a couple different reasons. Dominic Pooney. So Michael Hall Jr., who's brought in for a top 30 visit, he's there as well. So let me know what you think. And Brandy saying Johnny Wilson as a tight end. Maybe. I'd be really he'd have to be almost Travis Kelce-esque though, in that he doesn't line up on the line a whole lot. He is a very good run blocker for a wide receiver, but dude would have to add some bulk. I know he's huge already, but he'd have to add some bulk to really become an inline tight end. Steven saying Pooney or Beebe. So he's thinking interior offensive line. Peter saying Ben Sinnott as a blocker makes a lot of sense. Yeah. Not the most he would be a very, very fun H-back, but maybe not the most projectable left on the board as an H-back. Miserable Goat, no receivers, O-line, linebackers, and DBs, maybe a running back. I do think that makes sense. Brandy saying BB would be a slam dunk. Joseph saying, can we get Sinnott at 86, Ray Davis 88, and Cole Bishop at 91? All right, so Joseph laying out potentially our next three picks. Steven saying time to plow a hole for our running backs. Big B, what's up, Big B? Howdy, howdy. Grande B, and then Steve get a running back. All right, peeps, let me know what you're thinking. We got one definite vote for BB. We have Steven saying Pooney or BB, so either way, he's thinking interior offensive line. Joseph saying Sinnott at 86, that would be his vote. Dan Lemon saying Davis at 86, BB at 88. Yes, we do have 88 and 91 as well. So whatever we pick here stands a decent chance to still be there 2 picks from now. And then Joseph S saying Big B is stalking me from Cheesehead TV. Yeah, I gotta talk to Cheesehead soon. Gotta talk to them soon. All right, so we got votes for Ray Davis. We got votes for BB. Let me know. I'll give it just a few more seconds to take on a couple of votes. I know we got one vote in there for Sinnott as well. Baby, now you stalking me. Brandy's saying, I would hate being a GM. I want them all. I mean, I get it. Luckily, this is a very good draft to want them all. Packers have so much freaking capital, which is, it's made draft season more fun, right? All right. So let's just do this, okay? The votes at this point are most certainly no more right. Ray Davis is a no-brainer. All right. So what we're going to do, we'll go just to follow along with where the votes seem to be trending at least. We're going to go Ray Davis at 86, and then we'll see 88. We'll see maybe BB will still be there because he's kind of the second place vote getter right now. Oh, we got Miserable Goat saying Ray Davis. There we go. That sinks it. We're going Ray Davis at 86. All right. While the Cowboys are picking at 87, I'll recap what we got. They choose Kyrie Jackson, the corner from Oregon. So that means BB Oh, he's still there. We knew he would be there. I spent a lot of time by myself, y'all. I'm sorry. All right. So who do we have at this point to answer your question, Big B? At 41, because we did a few trade backs. Round one fell, frankly, terribly. So we did a trade back. 41, we got Edrin Cooper. 42, Chris Jenkins. 58, Jaden Hicks. 72, Roger Rosengarten. 86, Ray Davis. So Steve, make sure you draft Malik Washington. Sorry, Steve. And then Aladapo, yeah, that one I'm with you for sure. Dan asking to see the linebackers, most definitely. At 88, I did say we would go with Cooper Beebe just to follow the trends of the votes. But as of right now, let's just take a look because we do have 91 as well coming up in just a few seconds. So linebackers right now, you got Trotter, Eichenberg, Jordan McGee, Gray, Trevin Wallace is still there. I got to tell you, it's insane how different PFN and PFF are at some of these guys. Trevin Wallace goes like back end 2, early 3 on PFN. And here he chills regularly to like 6, 5, which just, it does feel quite unrealistic. So let's go away, Bucky Irving. We don't want you. So let's get the BB pick done, and then we can take a look at 91. Cooper Beebe, he's locked in at 88. All right, so just to recap, we got Edrin Cooper, Chris Jenkins, Jaden Hicks, Roger Rosengarten, Ray Davis, Cooper Beebe. I got to tell you, folks, I don't know what Goot's doing to hire all of us. This is going okay so far. All right. So now at 91, we do have Austin Booker there. He was an edge that the Packers brought in on a top 30 visit. Malik Washington. There you go, Steve. He's still there. No, I'm not picking him. But we got Trotter at linebacker. We've got one vote in to Stephen Smith saying Gray, Cedric Gray, the linebacker. And then Brandy Lewis, defensive lineman here. Well, we do have Chris Jenkins already, but we certainly can take a look. Let's go take a look at edge. At edge, we got Jalix Hunt still available, Austin Booker, Braylon Trice, Brennan Jackson, who is kind of Packersy in terms of size, but not quite athletic enough. And then if you're thinking the big boys on the D-line, then we'd be looking Michael Hall Jr. He's still there, certainly going to be a tweener for the Packers side of things. Wingo, Carter, Mason Smith, Logan Lee. That's kind of the tier of defensive linemen that we're looking at. Right there, Tavondre Sweat there as well. Although I got to believe he's off the Packers board. So here we are at 91. Our next pick is not until 126. So let's just catch up on a couple of comments, let people figure out what they want to vote for. Yeah, and Pooney is still available. Ben Sanat is still available. So there you go, Joseph. He's still hanging out there. Michael Hall Jr. But take a look at the board. Let me know what y'all are thinking. Braylon Allen's still there, if that's your flavor, although we did just choose. Big B saying grab Pooney if we didn't get a tackle. We did. We got Roger Rosengarten at 72, and then we got Cooper Beebe on the interior. So Chris saying, John, you could have said that with an Irish accent. You know, it's got to be coming. What, Cooper Beebe? Dan Whelan, the Irishman. That one I can do. That one rolls off the tongue super easy. Peter say Joe Milton at 126. Steve, my sweetheart Jennifer says hello. Hello, Jennifer. Claudia, my sweetheart, will be back for our live tomorrow. Miserable Goat linebacker. By the way, while you're figuring out what votes you want to do, I am going to just put in a reminder watch party. We're here. You know, this is not to bash other channels, but other channels, they just do a few days of the draft. We, every freaking pick, will be here all 3 days. Wisco Fanatics is going to join us for a long stretch of it, and Claudia and I are going to be here all day 3 just by our lonesome, so don't let us be lonely. Come hang out with us, and let's talk Packers the whole time. Let's see. Brandy throwing down a vote for Pooney, Joseph, Cedric Gray, or Ben Sanat, or Cole Bishop. Big B, never mind. Stephen Smith, save one for long snapper. Stephen, why gotta be like that? Big B, Cole Bishop, making it clear what he wants in all caps. Brandy asking about corner. Good thought, Brandy. Let's go check out what is available at the cornerback position. Jerian Jones is there. Kalen Carson, Abrams Drain, I'm sorry, from Missouri. DJ James, Cam Hart, Kamal Holden. honestly, Brandy, in my personal opinion, yes, Elijah Jones is there, although PFF is quite low on Elijah Jones. We're getting to the range where I think Elijah Jones goes. I think he's probably a solid 4, not the 5 to 6 that PFF has him at. But yeah, we're kind of in the gap of corners in a few different ways. So let me know. We got a Cole Bishop vote. We've also got Joseph is good with Gray or Sanat or Cole Bishop. Miserable Goat saying linebacker, which at this juncture, we do have Edgerrin Cooper, but if we were to add another linebacker, it's either Trevin Wallace or Cedric Gray. If you add Trevin Wallace to Edgerrin Cooper's already picked, yeah, you're gonna have so much fun recklessness at linebacker. And then Peter continuing to campaign for Joe Milton in round 4 would be just like Taysom Hill, he says. So and we do not have an edge yet. So Austin Booker, Alex Hunt, they're here. Give it just a few more seconds and then I'll make the decision. But looks like people know what they want. Joseph saying, so you're good with Sanat, Gray, or Bishop, but Gray would be your top choice. Stephen Smith, Gray seems better fit at linebacker. And then Brandy saying, can one of these linebackers take the Viper role in the new defense? Linebacker safety hybrid. Not Gray. Trevin Wallace. Maybe. Although I think you're kind of pushing it. The Edgerrin Cooper might be able to do it. Maybe they would put Quay there. Trotter. Yeah, I would hesitate to put Trotter there, although Peter's talking about Trotter right now, doublet linebacker with Trotter, although we've got 2 votes for Gray as it stands right now. People really want to get that linebacker. And then we got 1 vote for sure for Cole Bishop. Miserable Goat also saying linebacker. So just to recap what we've got Edgerrin Cooper, Chris Jenkins, Jaden Hicks, Roger Rosengarten, Ray Davis, and Cooper Beebe. BFF is being friendly to us in some ways. So, all right, a few more seconds, then that's it. And then I'm going to be picking. And right now, I got to tell you, it is Cedric Gray in the lead to be the selection as of right now, getting a little bit bulkier of a linebacker in Gray. Brandy now saying Gray as well. So I do believe that that's going to seal the deal. So let's go with Cedric Gray. Pick 91. Cedric Gray is your guy. All right, y'all. My goodness. Well, linebacker solved. Now we have a long layoff up until 126. I'm going to crank up the speed just a little bit. So Peter saying Trotter Jr. has a tremendous IQ or football IQ, unlike Quay. Yeah, I will say I'm very eager to see Quay in the new defense. His flaws were very apparent, and I think they were exacerbated by what he was asked to do in the defense a lot last year. If they were to give him a more defined role, I think maybe we'll have a different impression of his thoughts. Not gonna lie, kind of similar to like Patrick Queen, actually. First few years in the league were not great. He lost a lot. And then he got a competent linebacker coach, got a completely different role, really, and got paired next to Roquan Smith. And all of a sudden, he had a great year last year. So I think he could very well turn that around. Miserable Goat saying SEC linebacker, whoever played against the better offense. Okay, yep. Joseph saying, so we have a 4th but no 5th after our trading. Yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at. So picks remaining right now is 126, the one that we're at right now in the 4th. And then we've got 2 and 6, 2 and 7, 202, 219, 245, 255. Brandy saying time for competition at corner. So let's do a tour. Let's see who's there. Top on the board would be Brennan Jackson, the edge out of Washington State. Stephen Smith saying edge help or best available list. Yep. Nice Smith, the wide receiver. Tanner Bordolini, he's hanging out, the offensive lineman from Wisconsin. Cole Bishop is still there at safety. I have a feeling that's the way Big B would vote. And I got to say, the value is getting to a certain point with Cole Bishop. Mason Smith, Packers did a top 30 visit with him and other defensive linemen. Peter is going to rage at us if we don't choose Joe Milton. He's been campaigning a while. Luke McCaffrey, Cornelius Johnson, realistically the top wide receivers. Mustafa, if we're looking for another box safety to go along. Jaheim Bell, probably one of the more projectable H-backs in this role. So, or at least in this draft. So I got to tell you, I think I'm pretty definite on who I'd be looking at right now. Probably down to two guys, but I know which way I would tilt. But just to take a tour around at tackle, Javon Foster makes a lot of sense for Green Bay. So just going to continue to tool around here. We did already do interior offensive lineman, although we haven't gotten a center directly yet. Bortolini is technically a center, although a lot of Badger fans would not pray for that on their worst enemy. They think he's more of a guard. Zach Zinter's hanging out there for interior offensive line. If we wanted to look at corners, this is kind of the ballpark we're looking at here, like Kalen King, Nehemiah Pritchett, Josh Newton. Elijah Jones is still there because PFF doesn't like him. But that's realistically what we're looking at. So Brandy saying Cole Bishop, then sign Ford back. Yeah, if you've got McKinney, Hicks, Bishop, and signed Ford back, plus Anthony Johnson Jr. and Benny Sapp, safety is solved. Joseph saying, agree, Brandy, it's time for Elijah Jones, former player under Hafley at Boston. Yeah, they didn't need to bring him in for a top 30 visit. They know him well. Peter saying Mustafa over Bishop at safety. And then Patrice saying, would cornerback Max Melton be a great fit for the green and gold? He would. He went early in the draft. He went actually in the early 40s in this mock, if I'm remembering correctly. But yeah, Max Melton would make a lot of sense for Green Bay. He's got outside-inside versatility. His athletic profile was off the charts. It's just, I think he's realistically more of a day two style pick. So far, all right. So we got Joseph saying Elijah Jones. We've got Peter saying Joe Milton. But if we're going to go with the safety, Mustafa over Bishop. Brandy saying Cole Bishop. Steven saying Edge. All right, folks, gang together a little bit. Come to some kind of consensus. That's what we're looking for. And then I will make the pick. Keep in mind, our next selection is not until 2:02. So we do not have any fifth rounders as of right now, so choose wisely. Top edge right now, we Brennan Jackson. Bortolini's hanging out. Bortolini's gotten some like night 2 play as of late, according to National People. So it's been kind of interesting to see his ascent up draft boards as of late. Brandy saying Elijah Jones. So now we got 2 votes for Elijah Jones, the corner out of Boston College, which I do believe puts him in the lead. Sorry, Peter. But we got 2 votes for Elijah Jones, the corner out of Boston College. Just showing people what the options are. Naismith Smith, Isaiah Williams, Luke McCaffrey. If you're thinking wide receiver, not great, Bob. Safety, Cole Bishop, Mustafa. Oladapo, he's still there. PFF does not like him, by the way. Joseph asking, do you think we can get Oladapo, the safety, in round 6? In PFF, like, let's take a look at his ADP and everything. In real life, no. I think he's gotten far too much play as of late. I think he's going to settle at 3-4, like round 3, round 4 type range in real life. That seems to be where he seems to be settling in on a lot of talk. PFF just does not like him, like at all. And they keep him back end 5, early 6. Peter's not feeling the vibe of the room, y'all. He says Elijah Jones at 126. Are you kidding me? It's the way it's tilting right now. We got 2 votes for him. Get on the soapbox, Peter. Tell people what you're thinking. But yeah, and I just for my 2 cents here, I will say, like, Elijah Jones, like, he's just one dude that PFF hates. I've seen him frequently mocked in round 4. That kind of ballpark, which just happens to be exactly where we're sitting, by a lot of the 7-round mock drafts that I've looked at for the mock draft database, or like the roundups, all that kind of thing. Like he goes 4-5 a lot. So Give it just a few more seconds. But as of right now, Elijah Jones, he's our guy. Sorry, Peter, don't rage quit on us. So, by the way, let me just throw this out there. You can gather some thoughts. Let me know. What do you think of this format? Enjoy it? Like it? Is this cool? Is this neat? Should we do it again next year? Should we make it regular? Let me know. So, yeah, Peter's still sticking at 126. Joseph saying, Peter, we need some cornerback competition and did not get one yet. Yes, just to recap, right now we are at Edgerrin Cooper, Chris Jenkins, Jaden Hicks, Roger Rosengarten, Ray Davis, Cooper Beebe, and Cedric Gray. Not going to lie, it's a heck of a haul so far. And then Dan Lemon, he throws in his vote for Brennan Jackson, the edge out of Washington State. Certainly more the size that the Packers like at edge, and we have not chosen an edge yet. Just going to say 6'4", 264, 23 and a half years of age. Brandy saying, as long as Goot's mic is really low when he talks about these picks, everything will be right with the world. For being $1 billion organization, they could use some tech improvements. I know. It's sometimes it's painful. So far, I mean, nothing's supplanted Elijah Jones thus far. I'm giving y'all a chance to supplant him, but right now he's in the lead with the votes. Elijah Jones. In terms of edge, because that's been one position that's been mentioned, Kamara is still on the board. Gabriel Murphy, who the Packers have at least met with, not a top 30, but they did meet with him. Other types here, Miles Cole's been mocked to the Packers occasionally. Cedric Johnson, who I really like, he's still hanging out there and will go much later. Other positions that have been mentioned would be safety. That's gotten talked about a little bit. Cole Bishop, Oladapo, Mustafa, Bo Braid, Trey Taylor, Dominique Hampton. There's actually a bunch of safeties left. And then if you're interested in grabbing another tackle, not too many there. Bortolini, probably the top interior offensive lineman at this point. Steven, Joseph, let me go back to edge. I'll focus on that again for you. So I'll leave it up on the screen for a few seconds here. Edge, Brennan Jackson, the top one, according to PFF. Kamara out of Colorado State. He's been talked about a little bit for the Packers. Gabriel Murphy from UCLA. Those are kind of your top three, but then just sliding down a little bit, Miles Cole. Cedric Johnson is very much a Packers type in terms of athleticism and size. So that's what we'd be looking at realistically for edge. And Steven, I would agree. They need to add an edge eventually. And then Peter saying Elijah Jones is a round 6 prospect at best. Picking him at 126 just because he's from Boston is nonsensical. I don't want to say too much. I don't want to sway y'all. That's not the point of this. But I see merits on both sides. But I will say Elijah Jones still in the lead. We got 2 for Elijah Jones. Peter, one thing I can say for sure is I don't think anyone's jumping on your Joe Milton bandwagon. Sorry. All right. This is it. No other votes are coming in. I'm sorry, Peter. But Elijah Jones is the winning vote here at 126, barring some last second thing. I'm writing slowly. Even my pen died. How convenient. Hey, y'all, be nice. 126. Oh, okay. All right. Now, some last second votes are pouring in. It's Joseph say be nice. Steven Jackson. All right, so I'm assuming Brennan Jackson, right? The edge. So that brings us up to 2 votes. Although Dan Lemon, he's hopping on the Joe Milton bandwagon. Guys. All right. Okay, we're at a stalemate. We got 2 votes for Elijah Jones. We've got 2 votes since Dan switched. We got 2 votes for Joe Milton, and we got 1 vote for Brandy saying, make up your minds, kids. I agree. Dan, haha. All right, I might just have to make an executive decision here. There we go. There it is. Kenny diving in, flipping the vote to Joe Milton. So, hi, Kenny. Kenny saying Joe Milton. He and Jordan Travis are the top quarterbacks on the board. So that is the third vote for Joe Milton. Joe Milton is your pick at 126. Don't worry about grabbing a day or another day 3 quarterback because ours is had. Dan saying do it a Bears GM and do flip a coin. No, I don't want to be like them, Dan. Miserable go Joe Milton just for the controversy. Hey, man, fuel them clicks, right? All right, Joe Milton's it. 126, Joe Milton. Hey, y'all. I told y'all, be nice. I don't want to mute anybody in here. All right, so we have forever and a day now until our next selection. No round 5 pick because of the trades that we did earlier. So now going from 126 all the way back to 202. Go away. All right. All right, so just to recap for everybody, in fact, why don't I even do this? Oh, hey, the punter is the top player available. But we got Adrian Cooper, Chris Jenkins, Jaden Hicks, Roger Rosengarten, Ray Davis, Cooper Beebe, Cedric Gray, and Joe Milton. So thus far, we've covered linebacker times 2. We've gotten a defensive lineman, a box safety, a tackle, a running back, and an interior offensive lineman, as well as quarterback at this point. Brandy saying, I like this point of the draft where nobody knows who gets picked and the announcers are talking about some random thing. Yeah. It's rough. A solution to that, if I may, is tune into ours. We're talking football the whole time. Just saying. Yeah, Brandy, you're right. All right, so let's take a look at the board. We got Tip Ryman, the tight end from Illinois, one of the top players left on the board. Dominique Hampton, the safety from Washington. It does not look as though we might have a chance at Oladapo unless he's a little bit lower. But other players here, James Williams, the safety from Miami. Carson Steele, Ethan Driscoll. Christian Boyd, the defensive lineman. He's still hanging out. Cedric Johnson, the edge. Oh, hey, y'all, there's Elijah Jones. If you really wanted to do it, he is still there. Elijah Jones, the corner from Boston College. And that's kind of Jalen Sundle, one of my favorites, the offensive lineman from North Dakota State. And that's the first page of available players. I have a feeling I know which way this is going to go, and fairly quickly, although I will tell you, I do really like Tip Ryman, in case you didn't know. Dominique Hampton's there for safety, but... wide receiver for Craps and Grins. Yeah, let me show you who's there. At wide receiver, the top ones are Casey Washington, Joshua Cephas, Bub Means, Lyda Trick Griffin. Not gonna lie, I haven't researched wide receivers that much, especially like these collectives. For wide receivers, I pretty much look at like the sizes and go yes or no. And then Hayden Hatton as well. Wide receivers getting down to the bottom of the barrel. Peter saying running back Frank Gore Jr. or kicker Cam Little, inserting a kicker selection into this, or Frank Gore Jr. Frank Gore Jr., let me go just click on him. There's something that I remember about him. Yeah, 5'8", 195. He's quite a bit under size-wise where the Packers like to go at running back, just to insert that into there. But we are now in early round 6. Miserable Goat saying at this point, draft the best special team player. In which case for the Packers, that very well could be Tip Ryman. Bisaccia does love putting his tight ends on teams all the freaking time. Dominique Hampton is projected to be a fireball on teams, no doubt about that. Elijah Jones did some gunner or flyer work for Boston College. So he would make sense in that role as well. The Packers don't use edge a ton on teams, but Cedric Johnson's got the athleticism to do it. So, all right, let me know. Let me know what you be thinking. I know Joseph and Brandy, since they were voting for Elijah Jones in round 4, they'd probably like him. But we've got Peter bringing up two individuals there. We're at 202 right now. We've got one more pick at 219. If I don't get some more votes soon, I might just make an executive decision. Steven saying wide receivers, none with a route tree by the looks. Yeah, at this point, like we've really kind of gone beyond a lot of the draftable wide receivers, in my opinion. We're kind of near the bottom of the barrel for the most part. Joseph saying Elijah Jones. Brandy saying Elijah Jones works or a DL. Stephen Smith saying any edges left. Let me go just take a look at edge before we do this here. Edge, we got Jalen Green, Cedric Johnson, Solomon Byrd. Those are certainly the top ones left on the board, and then it's getting kind of down there. Jalen Green is one individual. Yeah, 245. Maybe if they're going to go with a new style of edge, we frankly don't know. Peter saying Cedric Johnson is an intriguing option. As someone who's spoken about him a lot, I agree. And Miserable Goat saying Elijah Jones. Yeah, we got 3 votes for Elijah Jones, so I'm just going to do it so we can keep on moving here. And we do have another pick in 17 picks. So let's go with Elijah Jones at 202. That gives us our corner competition. Stephen Smith saying Johnson at edge. Let's see if he's there. Looking back between 202. Oh, there went Tip Ryman. That's heartbreaking. 2-0 Dominique Hampton is now off the board as well at safety. Rasheen Ali at running back. Some Packer types are now off the board. But Cedric Johnson is still available. So that's where Joseph is going. Stephen Smith is saying Cedric Johnson. Peter's acknowledged he's an intriguing option. I think this may be where we wind up. Cedric Johnson, and he's one of the top players left per ADP. So any other thoughts? Miles Murphy. Miles Murphy. Oh, the D lineman out of North Carolina. Yeah, 6'4", 310. More of your run stuffing type than someone. Think like TJ Slayton in that kind of mold. But then also Christian Boyd is there. So Jets at 219. Yeah, I'm going to do it. I think we're all kind of in agreement here. Let's grab our edge project in the form of Cedric Johnson at 219. By the way, shout out to y'all. Thanks for chilling with me here on this Tuesday. I'm sure I'm going to get sentimental during the draft, but like, I love you people. Thank you for being here. All right. 245 now. 2 picks to go during the 7th round. 245, 255. And then Brandy saying Slayton, Ford, and Clark on the last year of their deal. Yes, indeedy. Yes, indeedy. And we did grab Chris Jenkins, who could be the future of the D-line room. And supposedly, per Tom Silverstein, like a month ago, the Packers have talked to Kenny the Clark about an extension, but since then, no news. So just to get an idea of where we are now at 245. Frankly, folks, in my opinion, we've only grabbed 2 offensive linemen so far. May not be a bad idea here. Just saying. Quarterbacks, we've already grabbed one. I'm not even looking at it. Wide receivers. There's 3 left in PFF's board. That's it. Tight ends. We're looking at Trey Knox, Jack Westover, Brevin Spann-Ford. My personal favorite there is probably Spann-Ford, just because like he's 270 pounds. Make him a Mercedes Lewis type. And that's probably the best option there. If you're looking at offensive line, Donovan Jennings, an intriguing option, maybe interior for the Packers. He's been cross training and interior as of late. He was a top 30 visit for the Packers. Other tackles, Delmar Glaze is there, although he's probably interior for the Packers. And then the interior offensive line, you've got Dylan McMahon. He's a center. Andrew Rame, Drake Nugent, who's a center. So if we're looking center, there's a couple options here. Let's see. Peter saying little over Reichard at kicker. Let's just entertain the thought. Let's go take a look at kicker. Reichard, Little, Mevis, those are your top options there. Brandy asking, will the kickoff require, the new kickoff rules, will they require different player types, more gunners, like one in the middle? Maybe. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how each team is going to handle it a little differently. It's possible. I wouldn't be shocked at all if we see some new wrinkles. I don't know as if you're going to see a departure from types. Like gunners are still going to be gunners, tight ends still filling their role in the big body types, like with the edges. But where they line up could be a little different. Like I do like your thinking there. I think much like when they changed kickoff rules about like touchback, stuff like that, we saw teams do different things, like kick it a little shorter to change the kickoff return game, like not kick it into the end zone to give the free yardage. And then other teams caught on, right? I think it was the Patriots who did it first. So we may see stuff like that. I think we're in for some interesting changes here. Brandy asking who the fastest guy is that can tackle at this point. That would be teams, yeah. And then Peter saying Andrew Raym would be so fun. He dreams of wearing a Cheesehead. Yeah, I saw that profile on him. I thought that was super interesting. That he's been a Packer fan his entire life. So that was kind of neat to see. So Miserable Goat asking who's left at linebacker. Another linebacker. We got two, dude. Let's go take a look. Left at linebacker, Ulo Foshio. He's still there from Washington. He's the top one on the board, left by a mile and a half. So Ulo Foshio still there at linebacker. And keep in mind, we only have 2 picks left. Only 2. Joseph saying Drake Nugent at center. Which running backs are left? I can go take a look at running backs. Frank Gore Jr. there at running back. Not many Packers-y types, to be frank. Fenwick, Milton, Williams, Johnson, Jordan. Yeah. The Packer types are kind of exhausted there in terms of where they may spend some draft capital. And then I did want to take a look here at safety. Nope, that's not a safety. Safety. Omar Brown, who did a top 30 visit with the Packers, is still hanging out there as well. So, anybody with a strong opinion on what we should do here as we round this off? Just the final 2 picks. Olaf Foshio. I mean, he's got to be tempting just from a value standpoint, although that would be our third. I do think there's like Donovan Jennings, top 30 visit, awfully intriguing. Brandy Lewis is throwing down a vote for Omar Brown. Joseph is throwing down a vote for Drake Nugent at center. Peter saying Andrew Raym at center. Stephen Smith saying Brown. Oh, Omar Brown. Yep. Dan, trade back. Dan, there's nowhere left to trade back. So few picks left. Peter, Kenny Logan Jr. at safety could be interesting. I don't remember a lot of details about him off the top of my head. Let me go just click on him quick. Oh yeah, 6 foot 205, little over 23 years old, coming off a very strong season this last year at Kansas, and predominantly plays box safety. Does have slot versatility though, so potentially, he does kind of meet their. I don't know what his RAS was like, but he does fit some of what they'd be looking for sure. So, but we got 2 votes for Brown, 1 for Nugent. Anybody strongly object to Brown? No? All right. So let's move on with it. I'm going to choose Omar Brown. Whoa, Brandy. Okay. I'm going to address this after this. All right. Omar Brown. He is chosen. That gives us another safety. All right. And for our last pick, let's address this quick with Brandy first. Trade Wicks for another 3rd rounder to the Chiefs. Kidding. Oh, thank God. Okay. I was like, Brandy, we're going to have a chat. Sewell got traded for a 3rd and Fields for a 4th. God bless the Bears. Just love it that they're in our division, right? Okay, last pick of the draft. Thus far, just to recap, we have Adrian Cooper, Chris Jenkins, Jaden Hicks, Roger Rosengarten, Ray Davis, Cooper Beebe, Cedric Gray, Joe Milton, Elijah Jones, Cedric Johnson, and Omar Brown. I don't know. I'd hire y'all. Seem to be doing okay. All right, last pick of the draft. What are we going to be looking at here? We've already taken a quarterback, so no point in doing that. We could choose another linebacker. Ulo Foshio is still there. If we're thinking offensive lineman, let me go take a look at what we got there. Donovan Jennings did go just a couple picks ago to the Titans, but Delmar Glaze is there. Or if you're thinking, he's realistically interior anyway, but if you're thinking interior offensive lineman, Andrew Raym, who, yes, as Peters noted, grew up being a Cheesehead fan. Drake Nugent, Dylan McMahon, few different options there at center for the Packers. And then looking at the tight end spot, as Brandy mentions it up here, Trey Knox. Layden Robinson is interior offensive lineman. Yeah, that's about what we got. So Trey Knox would be the top tight end at this juncture. Yes, as Brandy has hinted. So we got Trey Knox, top tight end. Peters stumping for Layden Robinson. Stephen Smith saying linebacker, that would be Ulo Fashio for sure. Miserable Goat saying our linebackers were injury prone, so we'll need all we can get. Well, if we draft Edgerrin Cooper and Cedric Gray, that would then leave us with Quay, McDuffie, so we got 4. Eric Wilson's still on the roster, and they did retain Welch as well. So we'd be looking at quite a few there. Rame, Layden Robinson, linebacker with run stopping. That's kind of a tall order right now, Stephen. Ulo Fashio might be your best bet, but this juncture at 255, that is kind of a tall order. All right. We got 2 votes for interior offensive line, if I count it that way. Brandy saying, wow, the Packers secondary can improve pretty well this draft. Yes. Yeah, it really can. It can. This is a very strong draft. I think if you overlook the lack of top end safety, then there's still a lot of depth in this draft for sure. So, just to give you a look, Layden Robinson, 6'4", 315, a good project interior offensive lineman, needs to work on his pass blocking, according to PFF. And then looking at a couple of the centers as we just finish this out here. Dylan McMahon, I read about him a little bit yesterday. He's got some little arms, but a versatile interior offensive lineman. Andrew Rame, 309, 22 years old, solid in pass pro, struggled to make an impact as a run blocker. And then we got Drake Nugent, good experience to the table, but lacks physical ability. Ouch. All right. Rame. Okay. Yeah. Yep. All right. So I think what we do here, because we did only choose 2 offensive linemen. Like that's the way my gut's telling me to go. Get an interior offensive lineman. And so, you know what? Let's make some dreams come true. Andrew Rame, get yourself a cheesehead. You are pick 255. We're making dreams come true here at Lombardi Time Brews. All right. So that gives us our draft. PFF, what you doing? It's having a hard time choosing Andrew Rame. But just to recap for you, even if I didn't get the little cute graphic at the end, we made some trades early on because the board did not do us any favors in round 1. So we kicked it back. At 41, we got Edgerrin Cooper. 42, Chris Jenkins. 58, Jaden Hicks. 72, Roger Rosengarten. 86, Ray Davis. 88, Cooper Beebe. 91, Cedric Gray. 126, Joe Milton. 202, Elijah Jones. 219, Cedric Johnson. 245, Omar Brown. 255, Andrew Rame. I mean, if anything, like maybe we're lacking a little bit in the offensive skill position world, but I mean, like, look, you addressed safety, you addressed offensive line, you addressed linebacker. Maybe we can still get Ulo Fashio as a UDFA if he's not picked, if PFF decides to, function again. I'm glad it didn't do this earlier. I would have been upset is the word that I will use that's YouTube friendly. Much like I was yesterday when I recorded an episode 3 times in a row. So that's what we got, folks. I'm not sure we're going to get our fancy little graphic here at the end because PFF is struggle bussing. We got some problems. There you go. Joseph Ulo Fashio, a UDFA, along with a tight end and running back. There, problem solved. Roster complete. They'll probably also pick up a UDFA wide receiver too, just to add a body into the room. But hey, thanks everybody. This is a lot of fun. We're now through all 7 rounds. Been a lot of fun hanging out. Please check out our draft party. It's going to be a ton of fun. Wisco Fanatics is joining us on Thursday night. It was, I know, like not all of you who were here today were around last year. You discovered this channel thereafter. As we've grown a ton in the last year. This is only our 2nd draft cycle doing this, but the draft was so much fun last year. I know it's going to be that way again. It is just like here. It is my personal priority as the host of a show that when I go live, I want to address every single comment out there. And I intend on doing that for the draft from pick 1 through the last pick in round 7, Mr. Irrelevance. So, Dan, no. I have a little boy to go pick up. Steven saying still like wide receiver in case I have any issues. So, all right. I do believe I'm going to cut it off there because we're not going to get our cute little graphic. I will put this in word form in the YouTube channel later tonight after I get back after running some errands, picking up my son. So, join me tomorrow, LTB Live, 4 o'clock, just regular old LTB Live. You can hang out, ask some questions, let's chat some more. And then Thursday, Friday, Saturday, so much draft. But really, really good job, guys. Thanks. It was a lot of fun. And yeah, Brandy, I'm with you. Since PFF isn't giving us a grade, it is an A+. You default to the good stuff. So thanks, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. I had a great time. I will see you tomorrow at 4 o'clock for LTB Live and then Thursday for the draft party. Have a great night, everybody. And as always,